Okay, I wanted to talk today about being 5'5" and what kind of advice would I give to someone who's 5'5"? Now, I think there's three ways to kind of, outside of being a normie and getting lucky in a social circle, which is which is I think is the best advice most likely, especially if you're younger. But uh, exceptional ascensions. It seems like the three ways that I've seen short guys progress growing up where you can either be a over hyper you can either go the hyper masculine or somewhat compensating route where you're either jacked as you can be, or if you're not jacked you're at least have a tough guy kind of mentality, a tough guy kind of masculine energy. um, you, your mouth better be very assertive. You can go that route. um, You can go the comedic route. That's kind of like what I do because I don't know. Comedy always came to me like just normal, so just like roasting and all that. So, uh, whenever there would be bullies or anything like that, I would just like try to roast them or joke about them, and then everyone would laugh um, at them, and then they would just stop. Anyone's even the bully would laugh sometimes. So I couldn't really get bullied in that sense. And plus, it's true, if you're somewhat good looking or you're somewhat cool looking, you can't get bullied. Um, for example, one time in the play, I was about to, I wanted to get started as a nerd, and then some guy's like, "No, I can't see you as a nerd. You look cool." Uh, so when you have somewhat good looks, you get shielded from getting bullied too hard. It's messed up. I know. But anyways, so I want to talk about three ways that a short guy can, the three ways that I've seen short guys kind of progress in my lifetime. Because I always like the shortest. I was around one of the shortest kids in class, and there's two other short kids that were like 5'4" and 5'3". Um, it's true. Every single inch is an extremely different lifestyle when you start going below 5'7". 5'8" and above, I'd say there isn't too much. Like, sure, you're never gonna be the tall guy, but you're not gonna be able to have excuses that I'm too short once you're 5'8" and above. At least in America, um, you might be straight same height as some girls, but in the West, usually there's nothing taboo about dating a guy your same height. It is um, Dating a guy shorter than you is a huge no-no, though. So that's why I say in the West, 5'7" and below, or just every single inch is an extremely different lifestyle. 5'6", kind of like I'm 5'5" and a half around there, so 5'6", I guess, because of my hair. It's always kind of like propped up. 5'6" is like where you kind of have to give up the idea of dating any girl above 5'8". If you're really jacked, I think you can get away with dating 5'9" girls, 5'10", maybe a 5'11", but that's like very out of the norm. Maybe like 5'9", 5'8". Joe Rogan, he's dating a much taller girl. But you have to have the props. I know a guy from my class that was 8'7" or something, but he became an actual MMA Muay Thai fighter, and he's dating like he got married to like this 5'9" white girl. Like I said, if you want to date a tall 5'10" girl, you're gonna have to be jacked or be a Muay Thai fighter, something real like out of the like exceptionally masculine to date that. Like for me, I know I can fantasize about it and love those long legs always, but I'm just not gonna get that. And I know I'm not gonna get that. I just have to say goodbye to any of those chances for 5'8", 5'9" and above. Now at 5'5", you can date 5'8". I've dated 5'8", a couple of times. And even in school, there'd be a couple crushes that were taller than me. 5'7", 5'8". But you have to remember, once you're going to the 5'8" range as a 5'5" guy, she's gonna be a little funky looking if she's attracted to you. So if you're really obsessed with wanting your kids to be as tall as you can, you're gonna have to sacrifice the looks department for the girl's face. If you go taller, the girls will usually be 1 to 2 points lower than you because they're gonna be looking at you and saying, "Oh my gosh, his eyes or his cheekbones." They want those genes. Meanwhile, you want her height genes, her legs, and all that. Um, so just be aware of that. You're not going to be able to get your looks match and have her be taller than you. Like my looks match face and 5'8", it's not going to happen. And you have to be aware for that. So you have to be aware of that. So now, if you're 5'5", you can date. Can you date 5'5"? Like 5'5" and 5'6" and 5'4", in my opinion, is kind of free game. If you're dating like 1 point lower than you or 0.5 points lower than you, so that's not too taboo in the West, especially if you have at least a 6 out of 10 face. That's doable. I didn't say it was easy, but I'm just saying it's not like the dreams of trying to date a 5'10" girl. You have to give that up. A 5'10" guy can date a 5'10" girl if he's into the top 5'10" girls, but a 5'5" guy, yeah, you have to give that up. 5'5" girl is realistic just because there's no taboo for dating guys same height. 5'3". Now, what I've noticed is that online, 5'2" girls in the West, 5'2", 5'1", 5 feet. These girls are really, really from what I've seen, my experience, really picky. They don't see you as shit. They don't see you. They see you as shorter than like girls your own height. See, it's weird because in online the sweet spot is kind of your same height. Is most from what I've seen from like the niceness of the replies, like the meanest. First of all, the coldest have been the tall girls. Not cold, but like they just stop talking. Like they won't even, or to look at your profile and then they don't even respond. Like it's just really fast, like a no. Same height. If they're really good looking, they're probably looking for a 5'10" good looking guy. So you kind of have to go for a little bit of like average or a tiny bit below your scale if you want to date your same height. But if you're really, really nice photos, yeah, you can probably still get it. But they're, in my opinion, have been the most receptive. The short girls, the thing is, the short girls are getting talked to by the most guys out of any single girl. Because the tall girls only getting talked to probably by tall guys and some short guy who like tall women like I do sometimes. And the medium women are getting responded to more. And then the short women are getting talked to by all guys, especially online, because online is just a densification or a exaggeration of real life in a way. So short girls are getting talked to messaged by all guys. And the thing is, a lot of tall guys in the West have a thing for short girls. It's not like I've heard in some other place, like Europe, that tall guys like reject short girls sometimes, and they like taller women. That might be a reason why in Sweden, Norway, they're more feminist, so guys are more accepting of dating women that are their same height or taller, or just like how do I say it? They don't see that as bad since they're more they believe more in equal partnerships. So as you can see, tall girls' genes get passed on more strongly. Meanwhile, in the West, I know a tall girl, and she ended up becoming a nun because she ended up becoming a nun. But me and my friend were saying, if that girl was 5'4" or 5'3", do you think she would have become a nun? She probably would have been hitched up or something. So tall girls get rejected in the West, I think, a lot more. So yeah. So anyway, so I think the sweet spot is probably your same height or a little shorter, and the short girls are a lot of times really mean and yeah. Now in real life, I think it's different. In real life, I think short girls are your best bet because short girls um, online, that's that. But in real life, they're in my experience, 5'5", they're more receptive as you're looking down at them. It's more easy for you to bring out your masculine energy as you're looking down at them. Meanwhile, with average height, unless you face mog her, or tall girl, you better face mog her by a lot for you to dominate the presence, which I have at times. But sometimes it's a girl that's my looks match or a little higher than my looks match, and she's 5'8", and it's like you're just getting mogged in too many ways. Like you have to be like, I don't know, the CEO or at least some of the higher ups to be able to still mog over her presence. Um, yeah, so that's what I see as what's realistic for a 5'5" guy. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about being short is that, well, like I said, I was one of the shortest kids in my class, and one of the, it's weird, but I think, like I said, that tall girl, that a really tall, like a 6 foot, I think she's 6 feet, and then becoming a nun. Um, I know that's just one sample point, but I think there's some truth to that because in my class there was two other short guys, 5'3" and 5'4", and I think at that height it gets harder. Like 5'4", you have to start. I think online's still doable, but I think 5'3", 5'2" is where you're just gonna have to social max as much as you can, because 5'3" and 5'2", it's gonna be really hard. And it's online. You're just gonna have to kind of forget online if you're 5'3" and below. Like I said, every inch is brutal at this point. I'll be having a much lively dating experience if I was 5'8". But after 5'9", I don't think it changes too much. Maybe until it's like 6'5" or 6'4". So yeah, the two 5'3" guys in my class ended up becoming gay. Well, one of them is bisexual, the other one's gay, and so I do think I know there's just a couple sample points, but I see it in like just people or friends of friends, very short guys around my height or shorter, and they're becoming gay. It's like, I guess because when you're very short, you kind of have black or white. You can either pick one lane or the other. You can either overcompensate for your lack of height and be like Mr. Olympia, and no one messes with because hey, you're short but you're mighty, or you can go the compensating route, or you can do the talent musician kind of like artistic like Prince route. So you're like into piano, into music and the guitar, and I'm a little bit like that in a way. Or you can just become gay because you kind of internalize that lack of masculinity in yourself, and you kind of want to be dominated. And it's just this weird psychology, but I think I can see how it makes sense. You kind of give up on the whole trying to dominate a girl because you just don't see it in your formative years, and you just end up just wanting to get dominated because you see yourself more in that essence. Which, like I said, I've seen with like a lot of short guys that I saw in my or some short guys I saw in my class that just went the gay route. And even if you look up the statistics, short guys are more likely to be gay than taller guys. So that's another interesting thing I've seen in my real experience. And there's a chance that every short guy could have become gay, and it's a much higher chance than every average height guy. Like for me growing up, like I said, what I had to do was like roast other people, and I got into some fights. I was a bit of a bully. I was a bit of a bully because like I grew up, my dad was a bit of a bully, or like a bit of, like that. So I had to kind of learned from him how to be over masculine. So at school, I would bully kids that were taller than me. kids that looked like they need to be bullied. Um, Not need to be bullied. Look like that they would be bullied in a stereotypical movie. Even though I was shorter than them. So if it wasn't for that, I could have went the gay route and been the whole submissive. But because of my um, aggressive, masculine energy I would bring, I averted the whole gay thing, and I went the whole roasting or like standing up to taller guys, bigger guys. Because as a short guy, that's all you can do. Um, that's almost all you can do, unless, like I said, you can still kind of do your own thing too, and become like a musician, or be like that entrepreneur YouTuber. I forgot his name, but he's like a short guy. So you end up overcompensating in some way. And every short guy I've seen that went the masculine route, it's like every day is a bad day, because they're just constantly trying to be the man, like the macho man. And it's really hard if you're trying to be the macho man, because some guys are like 6'3" and big, and you're trying to be the macho man. So you're just constantly going to be in fights. And I mean, some guys live their life like that, but um, I mean, yeah, for me, I didn't pick that route. I saw it as just nothing but trouble and your record getting messed up. So I went the ambitious money. I'd say money in the end of the day, land is much. I saw that as much more valuable than a couple of, um, you know, punches and all that. But yeah, that's what I see. 5'5". I think your realistics as a short guy is just get you can go the masculine route, you can go the artistic route, and sadly a lot of guys you be gay, but that's not an option. That's like another lifestyle. But yeah, you can either do the overcompensating masculine, like you can go to jail, criminal, thug max. This is really the TDLR of my video. You can either like thug max, masculine max, or you can do the artistic, grow your hair out, musician, artist kind of max. Yeah. And I don't know if I think another route is the ambitious entrepreneur, like not entrepreneur, but like the ambitious like rich guy max. But that's like very few men can do that. So me telling a bunch of short guys to all become rich, that's impossible. Rich will always be a small minority of people. But masculine, I mean, any normie can pick a side. Whether you want to do the masculine route or the feminine route. If you have good cheekbones, good zygomatics, and you have if you have good zygomatics and your jaw's not that great, then I would suggest the pretty boy max, the more artistic looking max. Maybe grow your hair out a bit, let the cheekbones shine and all that. If you have more of a jaw and it's more wider at the bottom and a more squarish, boxish looking face, then I suggest do the masculine max. If you're a short guy, you probably have a good frame. Most guys I've seen have a good jaw, have a good frame. So I would make the gym more of your routine thing. In the West, though, I'd say probably every short guy has to be in the gym. Maybe in Europe or in like Latin America, or I don't know, Europe or anywhere outside the West, I guess you can pull off just being thin and all that. But in the West, yeah, as a short guy in the West, a lot of mass matters. Just being big. Guys with mass and are kind of chubby get more and can lift heavy, but are kind of chubby, get more props in the West than a skinny guy who looks like a shrimp. So, but still, I mean, you can still do with the hair. If you're gonna if you're gonna like pretty boy max, maybe grow your hair out longer and make sure your fashion's like 20 out of 10. If you're gonna do the masculine max, go for more simple shirts. Make sure the gym is more important than fashion, because you can pick either gym or fashion. If you're doing gym maxing, you can't fashion max too hard, because good fashion doesn't look good on gym max guys. But if you're gonna fashion max, then you it's more important to have a trim, lean body, and it's more important to always have your hair on point. And if you have, make sure you can do some medium hair or maybe longer. But um, a leaner body is going to look good with good high fashion, and the gym max body is going to look good with more simple kind of fashion. So you're gonna pick your route. I think it really depends on your zygomatics and your jaw, the width of your jaw. If your width of your jaw is more square, unlined, or stronger than your zygomatics, then I say go for masculine max as a short guy and make sure the gym is like every single day, 45 minutes. If you're more of a pretty boy kind of facial aesthetic, you have zygomatics and your jaw's not the greatest. It's kind of like how I am a little bit. Probably pretty boy maxing is much more um, much more effective. Make sure your fashion is like I said, 15 out of 10, really great. And gym, just the main thing about gym is be lean. Because probably if you're pretty boy maxing, you're a lot of times your frame's not going to be the greatest, not going to be the most strongest, thickest wrists and all that. So just go for high tier fashion and make sure your watch, everything is on point in your fashion and your hair. And if you're masculine, the gym is more important. Maybe even a tattoo. Keep it short. Keep it simple. Um, yeah. All right.